One of my favorite business tools makes me over $100,000 a year in net profit. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite ways to use the tool, ways that you can replicate it to do the exact same for yourself. So I want to start this video out by showing you an example of what I'm looking at in my Amazon business, right? So I sell on Amazon, I sell name brand products just like this one. I buy them from everyday websites. You can see Hoka.com has this exact pair of shoes on sale for about $112. And then over here on Amazon, I can see the exact same item is currently selling for $210. Plugging that into this profit calculator here, we're making over $50 every single time this individual product sells, and split between all the colors and sizes. This listing sells over 1,500 times a month. Products like that one there helped me sell over $2 million a year on Amazon, and it wasn't always this easy for me in my business. When I first started selling on Amazon, it was 2018. There was basically no good information out on the market, and so I was kind of flying blind. I was driving from thrift store to thrift store. I was scanning used books. I was just using like the Amazon seller app to try to find books that were underpriced at thrift stores and then resell them for way more on Amazon. And that actually did work for me. I was able to sell about $100,000 of used books in my first year. It was absolutely awesome. It was a great side hustle as a college freshman, but I knew I would need something more high powered. I knew I was going to need a slightly different business if I wanted to turn it into a legit business instead of just a side hustle like selling books was. So before I found this tool that I'm going to show you exactly how to use, I was selling about $10,000 to $30,000 a month, somewhere in that range. And after I started using our product research tool called SellerAmp, I've been able to grow my Amazon business to over $200,000 a month. In fact, in the last week alone, I've sold over $100,000. So with that in mind, I'm not just going to be flexing these different random items on you. I wanted to show you specifically how you can use this tool called SellerAmp. This is our product research tool to find tons of winning products for yourself. And so it really boils down to a couple simple steps. So number one, we start from a profitable item, right? You can start from this exact item that's in the video, or you can look back through my channel. I have tons of videos where I'm finding profitable products live on camera, and you can start from any of those products. The reason for that is these products are already profitable. There's already people selling this item profitably. So there's a very good chance that some of the other items these sellers are selling are also going to be profitable, right? So I'm going to go ahead and check out the SellerAmp offers tab down here. And then once I'm down here, I'm going to open up one of these sellers. I like to open up sellers with not a ton of feedback. In this case, this seller has 500 feedback, so they probably know what they're doing, but there's a good shot that they're still doing a lot of arbitrage, right? So they're buying from websites like Hoka and they're reselling it on Amazon. And in fact, it looks like this seller right here is almost exclusively selling Hoka. And so the really valuable thing as you're looking through these Amazon storefronts is if you're looking to start a business that actually works, you're not trying to create your own products, you're not trying to run ads, all we have to do is find these items cheap enough to make a profit on Amazon, right? So once we do this, we're going to start just diving into some of these listings here, and let's see if we can trace these back to anywhere else that you might be able to find it profitably. And so within this storefront view of SellerAmp here, we just want to go ahead and start opening up these different items that we might be able to find profitably somewhere else on the internet, right? So when I press the Google button, it's going to grab this title right here, basically just like shortcuts your way to potentially finding where people are buying it from. In this case, I noticed that the name is kind of weird. So if that's the case, I like to just go and click the Google button there. And as you can see, this has the proper name. So these are the Bondi 8s. So now we just need to see if the Bondi 8s are on sale anywhere, basically. So we got them at Hoka. It looks like this site has them. This site has them right there. Here's some more of them. And so you can see there's a ton of different potential places we can start to find these items at. So diving into the Hoka website, we can see they're $165. We might be able to get them for $145 over here. Dick's Sporting Good, also $165. This website has some of the different variations. So like different color, they're $132. And the thing we're looking for is we just need to be able to buy these items for the max cost that SellerAmp lists. That's the name of the game. Open up a storefront based on a profitable item. Do I think I can buy it for that max cost option? So in this case, do I think I can buy this pair of shoes for $90? If the answer is yes, then go ahead and open up the Google option. If you don't know the answer, open up the Google option, right? So the more you do this, the more you're going to understand what items cost and kind of what's going to be realistic for you to actually be able to find these items at. And so this process is called reverse sourcing. I have a ton of videos on my channel where I'm doing this live, finding tons of winning products, but I want to point out some of the specific things that are extremely useful in your Amazon business. So the first thing right here is the top offers tab. This is actually a recent update as of this week. You can see the top 5 offers on each product. So for example, if the current seller right here, the buy box, so that's just like the add to cart button. That's kind of a fancy word for that. Basically what decides who's getting the sales. So the current buy box or add to cart buttons at $155. And then you can see as we go up to seller number 5, the price is already at $170. Something that's a little bit interesting, right? So we can immediately gauge how tough the competition is going to be, where on an item like this, we might have 4 sellers to worry about where they're all kind of in a similar price range. Just kind of thinking about how much competition you might have versus something like this. It seems like the sellers are a lot more tightly packed. They're all within a couple bucks. They're all probably going to be sharing some of those sales. And so you might deal with a little bit more competition, right? So I like to open up some of these listings that have, maybe 1 or 2 sellers who are low price and then the price goes super high up. So something like this, we can just look at this just for the sake of example, look at a slightly different brand. I want to also show you some different ways to source products as well. So this should be a super quick process, especially as you learn more and more. I'm hitting the Google button. We open it up on the kind of Google right there. All these Google shopping tabs are showing me like $72, $80. So I can immediately just kind of close out and keep on going down the list. So for me, when I first started selling on Amazon, I did not have SellerAmp. I was literally just opening up Amazon storefronts. I had no data to go off of. I had no max costs or any sales ranks. It was like flying blind, right? So you guys have a massive advantage being able to leverage tools like SellerAmp these days. And so that's kind of the reverse sourcing process. If you want to see me find winners, there's tons of videos on the channel, but I also want to show you a different way that you can find more winning products, right? So this is another application that I love using SellerAmp for. We found this random sale going on today. If you have a certain type of product that you're really familiar with, maybe you're already into makeup or maybe you're into shoes like we were just looking at. I really like kind of doubling down on a niche you might already have some kind of personal passion about. You might know like good brands to look out for, what people are willing to pay for certain makeup palettes, for example, stuff like that, right? So when you're looking out for those items, look for like sale banners, right? So 20% off. It's very rare that you're going to find winning Amazon products at retail price. And so when we're looking through these listings here, I'm going to be looking at these items that say save 20%. And I'm just looking for some items that I think I might be able to find selling for about double on Amazon, right? So for example, we can open up this random product here. Once we have this listing open, we can go ahead and click the SellerAmp extension and it does something slightly different here, right? So it's going to pull the title of the product and it's going to search Amazon search results for us. So anytime you already might know a certain brand you want to look out for, this is called manual sourcing. The last thing we just did is called reverse sourcing. This manual sourcing method is a little bit harder. It takes a little bit more know-how. You have to understand a certain brand, understand what people are willing to pay for products. Once you do kind of start getting the feel for things, like this is how I do a lot of my sourcing. We spend over $100,000 a month on profitable inventory. And this is how I end up doing it. I like to just kind of go straight to the sales I know I like, ripping through these items here and then pulling up their search results right away. Kind of saves you some copy paste, looking at Amazon back and forth, all that good stuff. And so something like this, we can see Amazon's on the listing. It's also $8.39. So it saves you a lot of the time of clicking back and forth, looking around to Amazon and just trying to save you time, right? The name of the game with selling on Amazon is getting through bad products as fast as possible. It's not finding winning products. That was a huge mental shift that allowed me to make a ton of money selling on Amazon. So something like this, we can see if this is the same exact item. So you can see the fluid extract there, pure herb. It's always kind of part of the game to understand if you're actually looking at the same product. So $11.99. We're buying this for $7. Plus, we can also do our math within the cost calculator right there. So we're buying that for $5.60. So this is break even. Obviously, we're not in the business of buying things and donating money to Jeff Bezos. You're supposed to be getting some money along the way, right? And so we'd want to move on from something like this. So this is also super useful on any of those brands that you might already know a little bit about, right? So let's say you're that guy or girl who likes to sell shoes. We can stack that information on top of, so we got a 60% off sale going on today at adidas.com. There's also 10% extra cash back that we can get through Rakuten. That's another just like easy way to boost your margins as an Amazon seller, basically. So we can go ahead and close that out. And let's just start opening up some of these listings here. So this is the up to 60% off sale. While I'm recording this, we just had a bunch of awesome like Cyber Monday sales and that kind of stuff. There's definitely a little bit of seasonality with the business, right? Sometimes the sales are really good, sometimes they're not. And I like to check every single day to kind of see what's going on. Today, I would say is like kind of more middle of the road. A lot of the websites have run a lot of their best sales, right? So on this listing here, whenever there's an option to filter by top sellers, that's something I really like doing. Usually top sellers is also going to be somewhat correlated to what's selling the fastest on Amazon. So let's just open up these first couple products here and see if we can find a potential winner. So let's go ahead and open up the SellerAmp search results on this jersey right here. See, it's $63. Another thing that you want to be taking massive advantage of is coupons. So Capital One Shopping basically is a free Chrome extension that I like to use to list coupons. So it looks like I'm able to get 30% off any order right here. Doesn't seem like there's any exclusions listed on the site here. So this could even be even cheaper than $63. Over here, it looks like our max cost for this, this jersey we're looking at would be $53. So we are actually in the money on this item. So let's go ahead and check out this item. But before we check out this item and see if this is a winning product, also wanted to let you know that right now when this video is out, over on selleramp.com, this is our product research tool. We have our once a year annual sale sale going on. So if you do not already have SellerAmp, or especially if you're an existing SellerAmp customer, you can go ahead and upgrade your subscription to annual, and it's the cheapest price you'll ever see on SellerAmp. It's 25% off against the monthly pricing. So if you go to pricing, go ahead and sign up and then use code GOODBYE2023. You're going to get 12 months of SellerAmp essentially for the price of 9. So it's some of the cheapest we've ever offered SellerAmp, especially if you're already a SellerAmp customer. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Go ahead and hop in, upgrade your account to an annual plan. They'll save you some money. You'll be able to write off that for tax season right here at the end of the year, especially if you're already an existing Amazon seller. I'm sure this has been a very, very profitable couple weeks for you. So go ahead and upgrade to an annual plan. You can also email our support if you're having any issues getting that done. We'd love to have you on for the next year, but let's go ahead and check out this product, right? So we're going to pop open the Amazon listing here. Looks like our max cost on this is $53. It does sell over 194 times a month. We're paying $63 for this item, plus we can get that 30% off coupon here. So we're going to end up paying $44, and it looks like this is profitable right away, right? So this is the double XL. We can also go ahead and see if there's any other profitable variations. So let's go ahead and open up the extra large. So that's $99 as well. And even if we're still paying $63, those are profitable. It's not as high of an ROI that I would like to look for, but that coupon makes this item really, really good, right? So $63 times 0.7. This is another profitable item. This one also is profitable, so $99 right there. And another thing that I'll kind of put you on some extra free game here is taking advantage of discounted gift cards, right? So we can go to a website like Cardbear. Let's go ahead and punch in Adidas right there. And then we can see today, it looks like Raise has the highest discounted gift card rates. It's just a great way to boost your margins. So we got 8% if we just buy whatever we want. So we can buy $500 worth of Adidas gift cards for whatever's going to work out to 8% off basically. So that's just a nice way to boost some extra margin in your business. We're also getting 10% cash back through Rakuten on these items. And you can leverage, a couple, like a percent or two on your credit card in cash back while you're buying these gift cards, right? So combining all that stuff together, you're definitely making money on an item like this. So that's super cool to see kind of a winning product right there. So let's do the same process here. Let's open up the SellerAmp right here. So this one is excluded from all the promotional offers. Like last one, it didn't say that. So we're just paying straight up $51 for this item. That's totally cool. It seems like this is kind of a weirder color. Something that I like to do here is doing a search image with Google. It's kind of something that is a little bit higher level, but it can help you find the Amazon listing, especially like on an item like this, where there's going to be tons of different versions, tons of different colors. It just helps me zero in and see if we can find the Amazon listing. In this case, I don't really see the Amazon listing. I'm also not super confident that this like weirder color, weirder layout is going to be a more standard item to sell on Amazon. I'm typically looking at more like plain items, very items that look like this, right? They're black and white. They're the type of stuff you'd see pretty much anyone out on the street wearing them, right? So let's see. So these are $99. Seems like those might be out of stock, but just for the sake of example, let's go ahead and see if they were profitable. So it looks like they probably are, right? So $195. Let's go ahead and pop open the Amazon listing here. Yeah, and when we do that here, you can see it is a slower seller, but if we were paying $99 for that, it's pretty good profit. That to me is worth buying like a slower selling item. And so this is where a different feature of SellerAmp that you're definitely going to want to leverage comes into play. And that's down here on the Google Sheets tab. Something like this, you can click, out of stock or whatever you want to make, right? So I have different spreadsheets for items that I think will be good on Halloween, or items that are good on back to school season, or in this case, they're out of stock right now, right? So I'm going to click that button. We can go ahead and open up that Google Sheet here. And when we do that, we can see that it's stored whatever we want. So this is all custom configurable. You can see on the example like this, I just want like the name, the URL, the UPC, maybe the brand that I bought it from. And then if you really want to go the extra mile, you could do like supplier link, type that right there. And then you could like paste the link from the supplier. So you can grab that right there. And then you can paste that in there. So basically over time, these different spreadsheets turn into a wealth of leads for your business, and cataloging your business super well, and especially adding items that weren't necessarily good when you were checking in, but they are going to be good later on. So they're out of stock. Or another example was where they're almost good. So let's say it's like a 15% ROI. You're looking for a 30% ROI. You could add it to that sheet. And then whenever you're kind of running low on product sourcing ideas, you can just go back to those Google Sheets and find a ton of winning products, right? So that's kind of an example application of one of my other favorite SellerAmp features there. Also want to mention something that ended up costing me basically $5,000 as an early beginner mistake when I started my business. So you want to be on the lookout for items like this. The reason that this is not a good item to sell on Amazon, even though it is literally the 10th best-selling toy, it's the middle of December while I'm filming this, sells over 14,000 times a month. The reason this is not a good item is because when we go down to the buy box analysis here, this is basically showing me who's made all the sales over the last 90 days, 180 days, all time on a listing like this. When I look at this chart, I can see that Amazon themselves is hogging 99% of the sales on this listing, right? As a new Amazon seller, I didn't understand that I needed to be looking out for stuff like this. And I ended up buying about $5,000 worth of a product that I just simply could not sell. And I didn't understand why until I became a more veteran Amazon seller and I understood that if someone is hogging all of the buy box on a listing, it's just kind of a good sign to stay away, right? So on the item that I bought, it was a brand themselves that was selling that product. I go in on the listing, the brand themselves obviously wants to keep hogging the sales, and they were able to do that, right? So Amazon will do the same thing. It's Amazon's playground. If you're competing on a listing where Amazon is always on the listing, they're typically going to beat you just because it's their playground. They're going to be able to make the rules. And in this case, it looks like they're hogging pretty much the vast majority of sales. So you really need to be on the lookout for this, and you really need to have a way to see this data. And I like to look at kind of the buy box analysis here to just kind of give me that extra vote of confidence to know that I'm actually able to sell the item. Because if you compare that to one of these other items that we were looking at earlier today, we can see, for example, this guy right here looks like it's just been straight up out of stock for a little while. It's been buy box suppressed. So that's basically Amazon thinks the price is too high. Those items will still sell. There's also this guy right here who made some sales. Looks like he made sales at $99.83. You can see there, this guy right here, different Amazon seller, also making sales at a pretty high price. Two other Amazon sellers here. It seems like they're probably just maybe smaller Amazon sellers, weren't super in stock, and they sold it for $98. That guy sold it for $95, right? So that's just really great validation that us as small third-party sellers can hop into a listing like this and make serious sales on a listing. So if you're ready to continue growing your Amazon business with us, again, make sure you go ahead and take action on the annual Seller Amp sale there. It's one of the cheapest prices you'll ever see again, and it's a tool that you pretty much need for your Amazon business. I could not run my Amazon business without it, and it makes me 6 figures in net profit a year. So I hope you guys got a ton of value out of this video. Hopefully you understand how to start looking for products. If you want to dive more into the weeds, I've got hundreds of free videos on the YouTube channel here you can look through. I also have a free course down below, a couple hours of content, auto ungating ASINs, a couple PDFs to help you grow as well. My goal is for that to be the best free resource on the internet for arbitrage. So go ahead and check it out. Let me know if you agree with me that it is the best resource on the internet. I'm also happy to answer any questions, comments, anything like that down below. And if you don't mind dropping a subscribe, a like, all that kind of stuff on your way down, that helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.